Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world. Talk about the team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. So, recently, the Raiders had their media day, and there was a ton of interviews, a ton of talk. It was all live on the roundtable. I got a bunch of interviews to share and talk about with you guys. First, we're going to start with Pete Carroll, the head coach. But before we do, I want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel, besides doing absolutely nothing, just watching the video. It's a little bit different from the presser. Those all media guys out there, kind of like, wanting to write a story. This is more of a looser, kind of live type of, interview type of thing. We're just chilling and talking about stuff. So I think the guys are going to be a little bit less on guard right here for these interviews. So we're going to start right now with Pete Carroll, head coach.
Get to that point where,
Oh, look at this.
main man. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, good to see
How
you.
are you, Coach? Great to see you.
Have a seat right here.
Well, let's welcome in the head coach of the Silver and Black, Pete Carroll. And, Coach, this has got to be exciting. We got a fan element here today. How you feeling?
We always like that.
Yeah.
Good to have him here.
Let's
How we
begin
doing?
with just talking about everything that you're loving about the situation in Vegas, the building, rookie OTAs, and how you're loving the style of what you're doing with this team.
Well, everything has kind of gone as planned so far. So it's nice to have a plan and it's kind of fitting together. We've come in here roaring with approach and philosophy and mentality and all of that, and stuff that we've been working on for years. To see it, kind of formulate again has been exciting. It warms my heart to see that we're having fun and we're working really hard, and guys are, you can tell that they can sense that there's something changing, and so a lot of expectations for us. We're gonna, we're going for it. We're not holding back. We're not looking for any give us some grace period or any of that kind of stuff. That's not how we're going about this. We want to go get it right now, and I think the players feel that sense of urgency, and they're showing it by the way they practice.
And, Coach, you've been doing this for a long time. You're one of the greatest guys to ever do it on defensively, head coach. Talk to us a little bit about those steps and that process when you're in this initial phase and you're here for media day, and what is that feeling like, and when you get that feel for the players and how they're kind of adjusting to the system?
Well, the reason I was late, Patrick and I were up there, scratching some stuff out there, and putting together kind of, collecting our thoughts after all of this time we have worked. We're melding, our ideas and thoughts and how the players are taking to it. We're looking all the way down the season, already. We're looking at games and styles of play that we have to match up for and all that. So that's why I was late. Right off the board.
That's okay.
Right from the board to here. It's a really active, challenging time, and I love every second of it. It's been a freaking blast for our coaches and myself to take on the challenge and all of it. So and it doesn't stop. The angst may come from we've got 3 more days of practice and then there's 6 weeks and then we're going. We're almost at the end of this phase, and so we're just trying to make sure that we're covering it all, getting it just right, and really working hard to match it with our guys.
Okay.
And as we've learned a lot, we've picked up a great deal of information on them. Try to put them in the greatest spots for them to really show, and that's really the whole program is about figuring out who these guys are, and then trying to maximize that, and so it's really having a great time.
Pete, in having covered you for a while, I actually covered you way back in L.A. when I was at the L.A. Times and you were at USC. So I saw it firsthand in Heritage Hall. I was covering mostly basketball, but you guys are out there playing shirts and skins, and you were always shirts. So I recognize that game. But in terms of when anybody talks about you, they talk about the energy, they talk about the enthusiasm, they talk about all that. Jacoby Meyer said you must be taking some extra kind of supplement for the kind.
That's not the first time somebody's suggested that.
So how does that translate onto success on the field, or is that simply just the basis for everything that's happening with whatever program you're in, whether it's USC, Seattle, here in Las Vegas now?
Yeah, well, we really operate. There's some principles, behind what we're doing, and one of them is something good is just about to happen. There's this unrealistic optimism that I know that my mom helped me, live with, and that it gives us an outlook and an attitude that we're going to make something of what is presented to us, and so I want to try to max it out every day, and if I can't do it, I can't expect the players to do it. So I'm not having any trouble. I'm not worn down. I'm not, oh God, well, how am I going to get it up this day? I don't feel like that at all. I feel like every day is just another chance to go at it and demonstrate that we can live it on a really high level and a high plane with high expectations and standards. And so fortunately, I've had enough years to figure out the language that it takes to translate that and convey it to the coaches and the players. And so we've got a way that we do our business, and interestingly, I'm asking about this, but we did a class this spring at USC and taught exactly the same stuff to a bunch of students, and to see what would happen, to see how that it would take, And it was so clear that we're talking about the attitude that you bring on a regular basis to everything that you're challenged by, moment to moment. How are you going to look at it? Are you going to take this as a competitive moment or not? And that's kind of how we live. And so when we do that, then it gives us a chance to push people. It gives them a chance to challenge them. It counts on us having to figure out who's who. It's very much a relationship-based approach, and so with all of that, it's got to be competitive. It's got to be upbeat. It's got to be ongoing. And so that I got to live that way. And it's that's just where I like being. So,
Coach, I want to
not having any problem with it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about roster development and how much do you love the undrafted free agents? When you're in the war room with John Spytek and you're waiting for a player to see if he's going to be there, you get your guy. Now you bring him in and you're coaching him up. How much passion do you have when you see a roster making it better every day?
Well, it's pretty much the same in everything. It's not any different. We've really shifted the roster quite a bit, and we've done it with the individual people that have come into the program and their mentality that has already added to the kind of way that we like to go about it. Landon Roberts has been a big factor for us, coming in. Great attitude guy, great mentality, tough as hell, loves the game, and just brings instant connection to leadership. Jeremy Chin has been a magnificent factor. Eric Stokes has already, lit it up playing corner. You just love what he's doing. And so we've had influence from guys. Ian Thomas has had a tremendous camp with us. It feels like he's kind of been reborn again, and with an already stout tight end group, he gives us a new factor. Raheem Mostert also, attitude, experience, background. These guys they're making a point. And of course, Geno has been an enormous factor to fit into all aspects of what we stand for. So there's been an infusion here, and so it's really exciting. Like you point out for John and I to put it together. There's some guys in this class that we drafted that not other people, I think few people would have seen them the way we see them, but they're bringing a profile to us that gives us a chance to also have a big influence on the roster and all of that, and we're really excited about. Darian Porter has looked really good. Dante Thornton has looked really good. Both the two offensive and defensive linemen that we took, all four of those guys are factoring in already with athleticism, movement, and attitude, and so it's been exciting now. And I kind of hate to see that we only got 3 days left. I kind of like to keep going. Let's just roll this thing into camp. Got to give the fellas a break. So
right, for sure. Talk to us a little bit about Geno and your relationship and how you guys lead together. Had great success with you in Seattle.
We have a big background, because for the longest time Geno didn't play, and so it was Pete and Geno, kind of keeping the optimism up, and hopeful and always looking for the opportunity to be that very next play. And Geno just embraced it right from the beginning. I've never been around a guy who was so consistently focused on, I could be playing the very next play, and so I've got to be ready. And he did it for years. It took him until his fourth year or whatever before we really got a chance to get him in a game, And so we have a lot of common language and common experience. Our communication is tops. My belief in him as a player, as a person, just a frickin' thrower. He can wing it now, and he's shown it throughout. He's had every opportunity with Chip's offense, sharing with Geno. It's come together where you can really tell that Geno's a big factor in it. So he's got such a consistent mentality about the way he competes, the way he comes to practice every day, the way he goes about his meetings, that he's already influenced a bunch of guys, and really positively without having to be a jerk about it. Or he just is being Geno, and when he's there and we can keep him in that, then he's got a chance to be a fantastic player. He's got some issues too now,
yeah.
like we all do.
We all do.
I got mine too,
That's right.
And so Geno and I have figured that out, how we can kind of get through the challenges and the hard stuff, so that we can keep ourselves on track, to be really good at what we're doing. And so it's been a marvelous influence.
Peter, I know you've been doing this long enough to where very few things are going to surprise you, but you learn something new every day, obviously. But coming to this organization, which is different, did you have to lean on any of your old SC guys, maybe even like the Carson Palmers, the Matt Leinerts, Darnell being Frosty Ruckers, to get a sense of what you were walking into with this organization, or was it all just kind of, what?
Honestly, I really grew up with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Being a Bay Area guy, and so this has not been a transition, of newness to me. I mean, Al Davis's effect on the game of football and his approach, that was right down just across the Richmond Bridge.
Yeah.
It was just across the way. And so as much as I was a Niner fan growing up, San Francisco born and all that kind of stuff, the Raiders thing was just home base. So that has been more. It's been more thrilling to be a part of it than it has been transition to figure it out.
Gotcha.
And I know that this is kind of, I'm going a little bit too far here in some regards, but Al had principles about the way he built a program, and he had his concepts, and he had his approach, and however it happened, I do too. And I have a way that I do what I do, and there's a lot of crossover in our expectations and the standards that we set. Even the style of players we like to play with is very similar. We like guys that can run.
Know. Yeah.
We like guys that can
run.
We like guys that are tall and fast. That's just been something that's been really common. As simple as that is, though, there's connection to that. And so, just win, baby, is just compete, baby. And there's some things here that really have connected. And so this has not been a difficult transition. It's not been any really the expectations, but I'll give you one. To get together with our alums the other night, this weekend past, and to see the connection to the past and the commitment that the organization has always made to the players is where it should be. Now, I don't know about the rest of the league. Where I've been, it has not been like this. No. I've battled for years about trying to make this connection with all of the NFL players, through the league office and stuff. I've talked about it for a long time, that our players deserve to be recognized for all that they put into it, the hardships that they undergo, the challenges, the physical challenge, all of the stuff that they deal with, and then the fact that we lose our game when we quit playing is an enormous transition for us. And our guys needs to be recognized, just like guys coming out of the military, guys coming out of their businesses. When you're done, sometimes it doesn't feel like it should be done, and so there's a lot of life left here. And so this organization, really through Al's insights and vision, has really exemplified that. And so I'm hoping we can continue to be a symbol for the league, because it's just the right way to treat our guys.
There's a big department up here with alumni and health and wellness. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Everyone means that. Coach, thank you for this morning. Appreciate you coming here. We really
Good.
appreciate it.
Good to
You're
see
going to
you
get a
guys.
chance to hand it off to Geno as we're bringing in
Come on in here,
right
Geno.
Come on, G.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Coach.
Wow, man, that's a great interview. Like I told you before we started, it's a little looser, right? It's not quite like, bang, 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 question. It's more of a conversation, and you really got to see how Pete Carroll really looks at his role with the team, not just a head coach, but a builder of a franchise mentally. The franchise, the skeleton is there. The facilities, the logo, the tradition, all that stuff is there. But how do you get that mentality into these guys? And he talked about it. He talked about you can't have a bad day. He's still having good days. He's going out there and having the good days. It's his mentality and how close it was to Al Davis's mentality. It's not a secret. Pete Carroll is a height, weight, speed guy. Like he likes big, fast players, and you teach him the game. You keep teaching all the way through. You don't just implement plays and implement plans and implement game plans. You teach these guys how to be the best, how to maximize their talents, but you got to first start with talent. And that's one thing that both Al Davis and Pete Carroll share as far as the vision for a player. Now, as far as the vision for a franchise, just win, baby, just compete, baby. It's the same thing. Pete Carroll is all about competition. With competition, it breeds winning because you're constantly getting the best out of everyone every single day, and you can't help but be at your very best when that happens. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free, and it's the bare minimum you do support the channel. Besides absolutely nothing, you're just watching the video. And, of course, I do appreciate that. Guys, please get your notification buttons clicked. It's that little bell underneath this video. It's going to notify you on your devices when I drop a video or I go live. Also, click on that share button. Any social media that you have, share it. It really helps a lot. The main things that really help me are if you like, comment, and share. Of course, I would love you to subscribe because I want you guys to be part of the community here. But if you can like this video, drop a little comment and share it to anything, to Facebook, to Instagram. If you have TikTok, if you have Twitter, anything, any social media you have, go ahead and share it because that really helped me out a lot, guys. All right, guys, appreciate you guys. Make sure everyone, please tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world's greatest and going to Raider Nation today. Right, guys, that's my time. Until next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.